I was willing to do whatever it was going to take to get me to where I wanted to be. I almost got arrested, but that is how I discovered the fire deep within me. Welcome to another episode of Buri's Debrief. Stories from a multi-dimensional woman building purpose, income, leadership, and joy in real life. Upon graduation from the University of Boya back in 2007, I was excited, just like any other graduate, to land my first job. I had gone back to my hometown in Bamenda, and I told my parents I wanted to go job hunting in Douala, the economic capital of Cameroon. It was typical of graduates to go to Douala to look for jobs. The market there was hot, vibrant. Everyone seemingly picked up something fairly quickly in Douala. So naturally, I felt the need to equally go to Douala. Fortunately, I had an uncle who lived there. So I went to live to my uncle, and I would go out to town almost every day to drop my applications. Those trips were grueling. Being from Bamenda with the cool weather and having to be in the heat in Douala every single day, job hunting was no fun. I remember I had just typical brown envelope with my resume in it and an application letter. So my uncle would come back home in the evening after work and give me, like hints, go over to this company, drop here. I graduated with a banking and finance degree, so he naturally pushed me towards the banks. I remember dropping off my application at Standard Chartered Bank. It was quite intimidating. Young graduate, no experience, nobody. I knew nobody at that bank, just me and my brown envelope. When I think about it now, I don't know if I were in the position of Standard Chartered or even looked at my application or even given myself a chance. I don't know. But I did what I had to do. I walked in, talked to whoever I could see at the reception station, and handed my application and walked out. I don't know if that was the best strategy. I don't know how people do it these days. I don't know how it worked back then, but that was all I was doing at every single company. I went to Union Bank. I went to Eco Bank. I remember even going to some, I can't even remember the name of the companies, but all of them there in Aqua with the bustling city, navigating my way in between taxis. It was immense tiredness. It was a very, very tough time. I'm saying this to encourage anyone who is out there looking for a job. We do see you. I just want anybody to feel seen. We understand that process. It is very, very difficult, especially when you're doing it on foot. You have nobody, you have no connections. Again, we're talking about Cameroon. Cameroon runs on connections, knowing people. Well, I think it's really everywhere. I used to think that it's not so much in the Western world, but I've come to understand that corporate life, generally, it's smoother when you know people. So, of course, there are graduates out there looking for jobs, dropping off the applications. I remember having even taken a taxi on one day all the way from Aqua to Bali, looking for a particular enterprise I had just seen online. Oh, and back in the day, the internet was not even as advanced as it is now. So I basically had to buy time on my Camtel card. Camtel is a telecommunications company in Cameroon at the time. They would sell you a couple of minutes on something like a USB stick, and you plug it onto your computer, and that's how you got access to the internet. So everything was so limited. Resources were not as widespread as they are today. Just getting to know which companies are hiring or what companies you could even attempt to go drop applications at was a whole different ball game on its own. Well, I struggled and narrowed down a few. I dropped applications here and there. Believe me, nobody ever called me. I was in Douala doing that, almost on a daily basis for close to 3 weeks. It was quite some work on its own. Well, I remember on this famous day, I had been out in Aqua. Aqua is one of the, I'll call it a city within Douala. I don't know if it's a city or it's just the stretch of companies or businesses, but it's a very densely populated and commercial area in Douala. So I saw this MTN building and I thought, well, why not give it a shot? I mean, I'm out here already. I had dropped where I needed to drop for that day, and I had a couple of my resume copies still in my hand. And I thought I'll give it a shot at MTN. I can't even remember. I know it was one small branch of MTN. I go over to this building. There is a lady sitting outside. So I naturally assumed that she's probably, maybe a security guard. She wasn't dressed in a particular way, but she seemed like she was connected to the company somehow. So I talked to her, said, I'm here, I'm looking for a job. Please, can you direct me to where I need to drop my application? She said, well, the receptionist sits right here. There's an empty table, but he's out on break. Now, that day I had been so tired. My feet were aching with the heat. I didn't know how long, and people take breaks for quite some time in Cameroon. I don't know, some people go for close to 2 hours. So I didn't want to stand there waiting for whenever this receptionist is going to return to take my application. So what did I do? In all of my state of mind was, I have to drop this application somehow. So I'm standing out there. That lady, according to her, I'm waiting for the receptionist to come in. But really, I was looking for whatever means will get me into that building. So there is the receptionist sitting almost outside. And then there is, I can see a door. And I'm thinking to myself, maybe if I walk in there, I can see somebody whom I can hand this application to directly. The moment that lady turned her face, I don't know what she was talking to somebody else, I sneaked in. That door was partially open. So I sneaked in, and behold, I see this other big door in front of me. Now I'm standing there. It looks like a hallway. I can't see any other person, and that door in front of me is locked. At the same time, I don't want to walk back because I'm determined to drop this application. So 2-3 minutes later, somebody walks out of that blocked door. And this person looks very, very corporate, so well dressed, very huge guy. So the moment he walks out, he's looking at me, and all I'm looking at is whoever is on the other side of that door. I didn't even care that he was looking at me. So the moment he bypassed me, I sneaked again into that second door. Behold, I walked directly into a conference room with a meeting in session. Even thinking about it now, I still have goosebumps because I just found myself standing in the middle of a big conference room, all with some very, I would say, high-class people. They're discussing something, it sounds very important, and then all of a sudden, they all stop and they're looking at me. The fear, it hit me then what I had just done. I had sneaked into the first door and the second door. Now, there was a security guard. I could see somebody in like a uniformed man standing at the corner of the room where the meeting was taking place. And it seems that the speaker was looking at him, like urging him to get me out. But I'm standing there. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to say. I'm frozen. And all I could hear is somebody on the other side shouting, "Qu'est-ce que vous faites ici?" That is in French. What are you doing here? I couldn't respond. I'm numb. I am terrified because I realized what I have just done. I think they saw the fear in my face, and whatever repercussions were supposed to be meted, I think they felt sorry for me and they just asked that guy to take me out. He equally coming towards me, he wasn't rough. I mean, I was almost at the point of bursting into tears, so he probably saw my countenance and just held my hand and walked me out. Now, when I walked out and he put me where it was like where I had been before, like the hallway, I noticed that that door actually had a code for anyone who was going in. So they didn't understand how I had gone in. Even I, talking about it now, I don't know what made me, but you know, at the end of the day, you are determined. You are frustrated. You feel you really want to get this thing done. That was the day I discovered the fire I have in me. Determination to do whatever it takes to get me where I want to be. Well, I wasn't punished or anything. They just escorted me out and gave me a very serious warning. I immediately jumped into the very next taxi and headed home, of course. Now, I know that there are so many people out there in the job market now. Maybe you're a young graduate or you're just transitioning from one job to another. It is hard to find employment. Sometimes we get so frustrated. Sometimes we are at the breaking point. Like we really want to, you know, you're looking for something, some form of employment, something to get you going day to day. It is hard. Life is tough. I just want to encourage anyone who is in that position now, please do not give up. Keep the fight on. You eventually get something. Well, for me, I had to back out and I ran out. I mean, 2 days later, I was back in my hometown because honestly, I was terrified. But that moment made me understand that I would go to any length to get what I want to do. And that spirit has kept me going for all these years. So please do not break down at the first obstacle or challenge in front of you. Know that you've got something. Position yourself wisely. Sometimes you may even take a role that is not what you thought you should be at, something that looks like beneath you, but that could be your gateway to higher heights. So do not underestimate it. Be humble, be patient, keep the fight going. Never lose that spirit. That will take you so far. Keep it going. I'm just out here today encouraging job seekers. It's a very tough spot to be in. I realize that for us in the US, it's been a very rough job market. There have been lots of layoffs over the past couple of years. And I know that there's so many people out there looking for jobs or transitioning or trying to find something new, or, you know, there's a lot that's happening as far as the job market is concerned. Please be encouraged. Network. That was one strategy I didn't know back then. I am still even struggling to understand how to network these days. But it's important to talk to people. Just have conversations, not necessarily asking, do you have a job at your workplace, or do you know somebody? I mean, just have regular conversations. Things come up that you can pick on within conversations that you can build on and find yourself somewhere. Well, this is all I have to offer for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you did find value, please like, share, and subscribe. There will be more to come on this channel. Bye for now.